Hi everyone, my name is Ajax and welcome to my video about the supporter role in Lost Ark. If you are curious about supporting in Lost Ark or are considering making a support class with the new Express event, this video is for you. I don't believe what many say about supports in Lost Ark, that it is boring and easy. That could be said for any class in the game, if you don't try to do your best to improve your gameplay. It is about what you make it. It is true, however, that the requirements for gearing and skill are lower for supports, and that is why it can be tempting to not put in any effort to get better, because you play Party Finder on easy mode anyway, and for many that is what matters. Most people know that supports have the capability to massively gap all DPS players in terms of raid damage contribution, but to do that you have to do more than running around with Yearning Set on. Supporting on a high level can be incredibly rewarding, as it is both fun and challenging if you put your heart in it. Getting started is actually pretty easy though, and this is supporting 101 after all. If you are used to playing a healer in other games, please try to keep your mind open for this video. Though healing is an important part of your kit as a support, your most important contribution to the raid is damage buffs in the form of Yearning Set, brand or marking skills, attack buffs and identity buffs. All of these will make the boss phase quicker, which means you will see less patterns, your teammates will take less damage, and in the end you will clear the raid quicker. So let's start with your damage buffs. The Yearning Set activates whenever you hit an enemy, and will stay active the entire fight as long as you keep targeting the boss with your skills. At level 3, this circle around you will give your teammates a 12% damage increase as well as a 12% increase in attack and movement speed for 16 seconds, making it the most valuable tool in the kit. While you usually don't have to think about this buff, there are a few instances where you can optimize your yearning uptime. At the start of the fight, all damage dealers will have their skills off cooldown and will start to do damage immediately. Dodge towards the boss, hit it with a brand or attack buff skill, and make sure that all of your 3 teammates get the dexterity and the swiftness buffs. In fights with large bosses, like Brechalse Gate 3 or Baldur's Gate 2. Especially if you have both front and back attackers, or even a ranged hitmaster class in your party, chances are that people will lose the yearning buff during the fight. You can try running around and hit them all with your circle every 15 seconds, or you can tell them that for this fight I will stick to the front or the back. It is easier though for them to come to you than it is for you to run around to all 3 of them. After damage reductions. This is very similar to the start of the fight. DPS players will start doing damage right away, so make sure to hit the boss with your marking skill or an attack buff before anything else. If you want to, you can precast Sword of Justice, Drawing Orchids or Harp of Rhythm if you wanted to hit right away. Branding skills are different from class to class, but they all do the same thing, boosting all damage the boss receives from your party by 10%. As you don't have to think so much about the Yearning Set, this will be your highest priority during raids. Get in the habit of always prioritizing your brand skill and spam it off cooldown, whether it's Paladin's Light Shock or Swords of Justice, Artist's Drawing Orchids, or Bard's Sonatina, Harp or Soundtrack. Attack buffs. All supports have 2 skills that give a 15% attack buff to teammates for a certain amount of time. Paladins have Wrath of God and Heavenly Blessings, Artists have Sun Sketch and Sunwell, and Bards have Heavenly Tune and Sonic Vibration. These do not stack with each other, so the key here is to alternate between your 2 attack buffs. Keep an eye on the small sword symbol on your buff bar, and press your next attack buff as your previous one runs out. Lastly, there's the identity. This one is very different from class to class, and is used to both heal and or damage buff. If you play Paladin, just press your X whenever it is up. Artists and Bards have some decision making to do here. I would default to damage buffs and drop a heal if several people are low. This one does really depend on your party though. Sometimes you will be able to damage buff the entire raid, sometimes your party will need more heals. As you get more used to the different damage windows in each raid, you will learn to hold your identity buff for those, if one is coming up soon. Examples of this is the end of the max at 200 bars, 160, 140 bars in Icon Gate 3. There is some extra complexity to the decision making for bards here, with how many bubbles you use. For good compromise between uptime and buff intensity, the default is a 2 bubble damage buff, or 3 bubbles for big damage windows. Only ever heal with 1 bubble, unless it's an emergency. I will say, there is no need to spam heals if your party sits at 80+% HP. This sends us straight into the next part, shielding. High uptime on shields result in less need for healing. As a paladin, you would spam your holy protection for shields and heals if you don't expect to need it for cleanse in the near future. Your God's Decree should also be spammed, and as this shield gives you identity meter when you hit an enemy with it, you would ideally target both the boss and your teammates. The same goes for artists Hopper and Starry Night. I don't have that much experience with Bard, but I know that their shields and their utility is highly customizable, and I will leave a link in the description for the Bard community guide if you want to know more about Bard. For the rest of this video, I will focus on the classes that I play, Paladin and Artist. There's a big learning curve in knowing what and when to shield, and this comes with experience. Playing a DPS class and experiencing what you would have wanted your supports to shield is also a great help in learning how to play your support. Stagger. Paladins and Artists should all run Vital Pointed, period. I know, who doesn't love candy? But when I pick a support to join my group, I always get the one with Vital Pointed. I highly recommend that you pick Vital Pointed over Drops of Ether or any other optional engraving if you have to choose. The raids and dungeons in this game are full of stagger checks, and running Vital Pointed or not is far too often the difference between a wipe and a clear. That one crit orb will not help you clear your raid, but your Vital Pointed might. It also allows you to bring Dark Grenade instead of Whirlwind for more damage. Counters. Hold your counter skill for counter patterns or mechs. As a support, you have the freedom to stay close to the boss's front and to pay attention to the counter tells. Hitting counters creates great damage opportunities for the damage dealers, and sometimes prevents the boss from doing high damage patterns like in Account Gate 3. Everybody loves a support that keep hitting counters. So, to sum it up, activate Yearning Set, spam your branding skill off cooldown, alternate your attack buffs, default to using your identity for damage buffs, heal if multiple people are low, more shields equals less need for heals, run Vital Pointed, study boss patterns and try to go for counters. This is definitely not the end-all be-all of support guides, especially with the omission of Bard utility, but I focused on what I know. So please drop it in the comments if you think of something that should have been included. If you have support friends, share this video with them to deal more damage. And if you want to see more content like this, like and subscribe, or leave a comment about what you want to see next. This video took a long time to make, so I would greatly appreciate the support. I hope you stick around. See ya!